Okay, Commissioners, this is item number 9, application for a certificate of appropriateness in the Borough of Manhattan, 5 Riverside Drive, aka 4-8 Riverside Drive, 316-320 West 73rd Street, West End Collegiate Historic District Extension. It's docket number 163561. It's an Art Deco style apartment building designed by Boak and Paris and built in 1936. Application is to replace the windows.
Good afternoon, Catherine Red, Preservation Department staff. The proposal is to replace 4 6/1 original steel double hung windows and 1 tripartite window assembly incorporating 1 6/1 flanked by 4/1s at the Riverside Drive facade at the 8th floor, as you can see here, with 4 single light tilt and turn windows and 1 tripartite window assembly with a fixed picture window flanked by 2 tilt and turn windows, all with a bronze finish. And I'm going back to the start of the presentation to introduce to you Jericho King, Hugo Mayan, actually, from Jericho King Architects, to tell you about the proposal.
Good afternoon, members of the Commission. Please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Hugo Moyen. I am with Jericho King Architects, principal of the firm Jericho King. Today, thank you for the opportunity for allowing us to introduce the proposal for the window replacement of existing 6/1 steel double hung windows at 5 Riverside Drive, apartment 8B. Please, some just very brief information about the building itself. The building was constructed in 1936, designed by the architects Borough and Paris. The building style is an Art Deco style. The materials of the existing building are red brick, cast stone, and marble at the entrance. This particular building was added to the historic district of West End Collegiate in June 25, 2013. The proposed work is going to be on the west facade of the building. Currently, there are mixed windows on that facade. The proposed windows that we would like to install are the tilt and turn skyline windows. The work will be performed on the 8th floor. The exterior of the color of the windows are going to be a baked-on acrylic dark bronze. This color is to match the majority of the windows already in place. As a proposed work, just a direct replacement of the existing 6/1 double hung steel windows at apartment unit 8B on the 8th floor of 5 Riverside Drive. Here are the existing windows in its current conditions. 2 windows on the bedroom, 1 window on the bathroom location, 1 window on the kitchen, and this is the living room windows. This is a photograph of the 1950s building and the photograph when the building became a landmark. This is a elevation photograph on 73rd. This is the north facade, and also a line drawing of the elevation. This is a photograph of the west facade, and also a line drawing. Here we have our current apartment outlined by the red dotted lines. This is a proposed west elevation. This is just a rendering with the proposed windows already into the apartment, and also the line drawing reflecting the proposed windows.
So your intention is to have your windows visually match the ones immediately above and below it in terms of the dimensions of the windows, the dimensions of the mullions, and all that stuff?
Correct, yes. The majority of the windows, there's 176 windows in total. 122 are skyline tilt and turn windows on that facade. 34 are double hung windows. 20 are 6/1 double hung windows. And approximately about 69% of the tilt and turns are going to be proposed. So the majority of them are already existing tilt and turns. This is just a comparison of the existing versus the proposed. On the top are the existing windows, and on the bottom are the proposed windows.
And the existing are original?
Correct, yes. The existing are original, yes. This is, again, just a comparison renderings. The top are the existing windows, their existing conditions, and the bottom are the proposed renderings. This is a typical drawings from the tilt and turn skyline. And lastly, this is a letter from the board itself approving the proposed work. This is the first application after the building became a landmark.
Questions? Any questions? Yes, Roberta?
So there is no master plan now?
The master plan are the early beginnings of a talk between the building itself. But I believe the direction they're going are the same, keeping the majority of the windows tilt and turn.
Speaking of what?
Keeping the majority of the windows tilt and turn, the same windows we're proposing.
So could they do this as part of the master plan, or
No, this is not part of the master
it could not be done?
Okay. Any other questions? All right. Why don't we take testimony? I'm sure we'll have questions after that. Barbara Zay.
Barbara Zay of the Historic Districts Council. It is unfortunate that the West End Collegiate Historic District extension was designated after the majority of the windows were removed from this handsome Art Deco building. Windows are integral to the design of buildings of this size, and changing them in configuration would irreversibly alter the original intent of this building. HDC asks that instead of furthering the damage that has been done, a master plan be established for the gradual replacement of windows that are historically accurate and appropriate. Thank you.
Sean Corsandi.
Commissioners, again, Sean Corsandi for Landmark West. Our committee urges the Commission to deny the modifications proposed by this application. They are by definition inappropriate. The LPC's Window Guidelines Rules 301D cite the following principles. Number 1, the distinguishing original qualities or character of a building structure or site and its environment should not be destroyed. The removal or alteration of any distinctive architectural features should be avoided whenever possible. 2, deteriorated architectural features, including windows, should be repaired rather than replaced whenever possible. 3, if replacement is necessary, a new window should match the original historic window in design and visual qualities. The proposed modifications meet none of these principles. If approved, the Commission would be sanctioning the destruction of one of the last traces of the original fenestration of this Art Deco building, one that Boak in Paris scholar Anna Alt identifies as a significant part of the architect's oeuvre. First, the original steel windows were an integral part of this building's design, as their variegated texture served to offset the structure's otherwise restrained effect. 5 Riverside Drive was designated as a relatively austere manor with a solid brick facade and stylized cast stone ornaments such as foliate reliefs and fluted moldings. Examples of conservative facades counterbalanced by a lively window sash abound throughout the west side, including 5 West 86th and 315 Riverside Drive, also by Boak in Paris. The unfortunate cumulative replacement of original steel windows with 1/1 and fixed aluminum sash has neutered this facade's original impact and resulted in a muted, bland effect. The proposed tilt and turns only worsen the facade's composition. Second, the Commission must not reinforce false advertising about energy efficiency of modern aluminum windows. The applicant suggests the installation of modern aluminum windows should be approved in part because they are energy efficient. The Commission should not be misled, nor should it allow this untrue appeal of energy efficiency convince it to approve the installation of these inappropriate windows. Historic steel windows are the true green option. Unlike aluminum windows, it is possible to maintain and repair their historic steel windows, and they will last longer. In 2008, architect and window expert Walter Sedovic stated the following about using aluminum in lieu of steel at the Ardsley. Residents will find that while their aluminum replacements will likely begin to fail in 8 to 10 years, necessitating a second replacement and wasting horrifying amount of energy, Restoring their steel windows will have an initial lower cost, promote sustainability, and improve the performance of the windows over even their original quality. Finally, the fact that a majority of the landmark's windows have been altered over time is not a rationale for proposing to further exacerbate the loss of the facade's integrity. We urge the Commission to require the building to come up with a long-range windows master plan to ensure all future new windows will have the original 6/1 double-hung configuration and will be made of steel. This is a golden opportunity to restore the original architectural effect of 5 Riverside Drive, a landmark Upper West Siders can be proud of. Thank you. And LPC also has testimony from Anna Salt, who recently wrote.
Thank you. Christabel Guff?
Christabel Goff for the Society for the Architecture of the City. We would like to plead for a master plan and restoration here. Even though so many original windows are lost, the replacement process will probably not create uniformity in the immediate future. Window configuration is such an important part of the overall visual impression an apartment building like this makes that lacking historic window detailing, it will almost qualify for the dreaded style none description. Boak in Paris are a respected firm. Please give them a chance for a comeback. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more speakers? Is Anise Alt here? All right, she has just, she's submitted written testimony, and, I'm sorry, can you say that again?
She has a book about to be published.
Okay, all right, thank you. And we also received Community Board 7's recommendation, and they approved the window replacement as stipulated. I'm just trying, let me, okay.
And she approved or she recommended, yes?
Who, Anise Alt? Well, it's a long testimony, and I'm actually trying to sort of figure out where she was finally coming out on this, but what we'll do is let me circulate this all, you can read it. Let me circulate that quick. Okay, any other speakers? All right. Questions for the applicant? Yes.
Can we request master plan when something is submitted that's not a master plan? That's an individual request?
Okay, so there's two issues here. One is we could recommend a master plan, and we could, or recommend meaning encourage a master plan, or we could require a master plan. I think right now, is it you're applying as just one individual unit owner.
Right.
So in order for a master plan to come before us, it would require the co-op to actually make that application, which they're haven't done as yet. Yes, John?
So does that mean that we have no choice? I mean, we were either going to reject this or accept it. There's no recommendation of a master plan because we don't have the right person in front of us, right?
We could say we accept this and require a master plan, but it would mean then that they would have to go and get a master plan before they could proceed with doing their windows.
Right. I mean, Commissioners, the
Yes.
Commission, this has always been a difficult situation where you have co-operators, who have the ability to change their windows individually, as opposed to some buildings where there has to be uniformity and there's a requirement, and people want to do it. They're in the middle of doing renovations and things like that. So the Commission has never sort of said you must go back and get a master plan, because sometimes it's very difficult for these buildings to agree on what they want. And so it's difficult, and it puts individual property owners in a very awkward position. So, historically, we've encouraged master plans because it makes sense for everyone when we push very hard to try to get them. But at the end of the day, if an individual comes forward, we really sort of need to address that application before us.
Right, and I think the situations where we've, required a master plan, it's been because the owner has, in fact, owned the entire building. And in this particular case, obviously, there are like multiple units there, so people do get it.
We've made suggestions that I think have influenced the master plan. We could suggest for this application, which would impact the master plan.
Right. I think that the way we approach this may be the way we would approach others who would come to change their windows. That we could do. And in the meantime, encourage them to work with their co-op to get a master plan. Yes.
Would staff know how many windows have been changed in this building since the building has been under landmarks protection?
Since the first one.
And what did we do?
This is the first. This is the first application.
Oh, great.
For windows, yeah.
And this change is, it appears to be that it's actually consistent with original windows, is that correct? Or no, it's not?
No.
Oh, well.
It's going in the direction of what's changed prior to designation, I guess you'd
So
say.
the only, so that existing row is there, but where are we changing? So we're changing. They're being changed from that to that, yeah. Oh.
That's what it is.
But that's the existing, so how many other rows are there? Is this the last one? That's on that elevation? Is this the last existing
Okay,
original?
the architects and I together did a count. Oh, stand up, sorry. Okay.
Why don't you show us the elevation that we're talking about?
That's an elevation.
I think on this facade.
So this is the existing one. There are right now 26/1 double hung windows on the west facade.
How many windows are there in total on the west facade?
On Riverside Drive,
So-
facade, do you want to go
Sure.
through? This is
Okay, these are the numbers, 176 windows
That's
total?
actually been changed.
Okay.
It's because we checked. And
Okay.
So we have a new count.
So I'm gonna, this is right now on the west facade for Riverside, a total of 211 windows. 6/1 double hung are 39. 1/1 double hung are 34. Altogether, there are 73 double hung windows on the west facade. Tilt and turn, there's 138 currently on the west facade. On the 73rd elevation is 228 windows.
Okay, but just on,
I think maybe the percents might be interesting for the commission. Out of 100% of the windows, about 47% have been replaced with tilt and turns. 51% are double hung, either 1/1 replacements or multi-light over one historic. 20% are the 6/1s, and 30% are the
And the 6/1s are the originals.
yes.
Is that right? All others are not original.
Right.
So
Except
20%
for-
are original, 80% are
Except
changed.
except for 7 wraparound corner windows, which remain on these 2 facades on the historic.
all right, any other questions? Okay, comments? Yeah, John?
Well, I'm just concerned about starting down the wrong road. I mean, this is the first opportunity, and if we, let's face it, if we actually say, okay, we're going to go tilt and turn on this one, that's it, right? I mean, the rest of the building, we're going to lose that feature. Everyone's going to come to us with the exact same request. And we have no basis for not doing it. So I want the 6/1s.
Yes.
Unless I,
Yep.
over the past several years, have misread it, the Department of Energy has established that the average the average service life of an aluminum replacement window is somewhere between 8 and 10 years. So I see that we have probably in the upcoming years many opportunities to go back to the original configuration here, and I'm with John on this. I think we need to go down the correct road.
Okay, other
Preservation.
I think the fact that there's 20% of the originals is big, more than I would have thought. Knowing this building a little bit, it has dramatic. The advent of these replacement windows has significantly changed the feel of this particular building. So the commission's had such good luck with replacement windows in steel sash buildings that have come out great on Central Park West and Riverside Drive. They're really, really good. So it seems like there is a reasonable alternative that would be better for the design.
Okay, other comments? All right, so let me see if I'm understanding correctly. So I think people are feeling uncomfortable with this change.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, is there anything short of essentially keeping their, I guess, if they replaced it with a similar configuration, we wouldn't have any concerns, is that correct? I'm sorry, can you say that, please? At staff level. That would be, actually be done at staff level. All right. Sometimes I know the commission has maybe not, but those I think are situations when they've already have a replaced window, when they've gone to something which is may not be historic, but something that's better, but in this case, it actually is a historic window.
Right, in some cases, it's where, again, that's where the master plan comes in for a building that perhaps wants to propose something that's not 100% historic window, but come back with a pattern that they believe recalls and feels like the original design, but maybe doesn't include every window being historic. And the benefit to the commission is that it's something that happens quickly over time, as opposed to over a long, long period of time. So the master plan allows that to happen a little more quickly than perhaps it would otherwise. But that would be a strategic decision by the building to come back and ask for something that would be different.
All right, did you understand what was said? I guess it really is that if you want to look at this and you want to change your windows in something that is not the same or replacement of the original configuration, which you can do at staff level, then it really means coming back with some kind of master plan which ensures that the buildings overall improve over time to go towards more historic configuration. Okay? All right, so we can close the hearing then.